I forgot to add it to the stage this time, Steve. Welcome back to episode 3 of Stories with Uncle Stevie. Um, Between recording the last episode and this episode, I called my wife and asked her, not permission to stay here, but let her know what we're doing. And she told me to shut up and let Uncle Stevie go. So,
Well, I want to talk about what happens when things go wrong. Um, if you're in the radio business long enough, you'll get fired probably more than once. Your station they'll change the format, they'll get rid of people, stuff, they sell the station. It's a volatile business. But this applies to people no matter what you do in life. I think this story will apply to whatever it is you do. But so here's the thing. So I'm at this second radio station, the one where the crazy guy showed up with the briefcase. Uh, I'm at that station, and they decided to sell the station, and they sold it to another company. They came in, they were doing something completely different, and we were out. And I felt like we were doing what God called us to do. I felt like we were doing something important, and we were on a mission, and all of a sudden, it's over. And a lot of my identity was in that radio station. That was who I was, and all of a sudden, I don't have that anymore. And it was a really tough spot. So I go to the next station, and we're about 7 months into taking a station that was not Christian and turning it Christian. The owners were not very patient, and 7 months in, they've decided this is not going to work. We're going to do something else. And so they had made a lot of promises to me on the front end of, we're going to do this, we're going to do these billboards, we're going to do this and that. And they had not kept any of the promises. And, I can tell there was a lot of tension building, and it's like, this is not going like I thought it was going to go, and these guys don't seem real happy. And so it was 3 days before Christmas. I went into the boss's office, had a little notepad, and I said, I'd like to talk to you about where we are with the station. And I said, there are some things that you guys committed to do. I made commitments, you made commitments, you haven't kept yours, and it's causing me to not be able to do what I told you I was going to do. And I'm trying to understand why you haven't done any of these things. And I start to go down my list, and he stops me and he says, well, I didn't really want to tell you this until after the holidays. That is not a good way to start a conversation.
right?
3 days before Christmas, he tells me, yeah, we're going to go Motown oldies, and we're going to use the guys on the other station to run it, and you and your whole bunch are going to be gone. And so I was the manager of that station, group of stations. So I had a sales team, I had an on-air team that all depended on me. And he says to me, if I were you, I wouldn't tell anybody about this, because they'll all leave and get jobs, and you'll be stuck here by yourself, because we're not ready to do this yet, and you don't want everybody to leave.
Who says you're staying?
Well, he assumed that, and so I went home that night, and I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I said, I can't be the only guy. There were a dozen of us on the staff. I can't be the only guy that gets this heads up, and I just let everybody else, get hit with this all at once. I can't. Maybe that's how he does things, but that ain't how I operate.
Yeah.
And I got up the next morning, I went back in the station, called a meeting, pulled everybody in the room, and I said, okay, here's what's about to happen. I don't know how soon, but we probably got 2 or 3 months, but you all need to know this is coming. One by one, people found jobs. I had agreed to stay on to the end, or as close to the end as I could, and so people started finding jobs. And he was right. I wound up being the only guy there. I was the last guy out, and I got pneumonia. I was on the air. I had pneumonia. I was afraid to call in sick because then they'd go ahead and let me go. So I've got to go to work, but I've got to be on the radio and I've got pneumonia and I can't breathe. And so that's not a good combination either. So I managed to get through a 4-hour air shift every day for like 2 weeks while I had pneumonia. It was not fun, but just afraid to not show up. But they finally made the decision. They shut the station down, and once again, this thing that I had poured my life into was gone. Christian radio, attempt to reach people with the gospel, and all of a sudden now we're done. And so this has happened twice back to back. It really started to mess with my confidence, my faith. It's like, why does this keep happening? And so a couple years later, I'm at another Christian station, and I still don't exactly know how, but I got sideways with the boss again, and he comes in and asks for my resignation one day, and I'm like, why would I resign? And he's like, well, to keep from getting fired. Oh, that's how this works. And so once again, it happened again. And so that was 3 times in about a 4-year period that one, the station sold, the next one to change formats, the next one the guy just decided to get rid of me. And I went off, I left that really kind of disgruntled with, it's like these Christian radio people, there's just something especially bad about these people, and I don't think I want to do this anymore. And I went and got a job at a pop station. Actually became pretty successful and made a lot more money, and I'm like, okay, cool, we'll just do it this way. And for probably 15 years, I did secular radio. I didn't do Christian radio. And you fast forward, I'm in Panama City, beach town, party town. We had a radio station that was a party station. Our biggest client was a bar on the beach, and we did a live broadcast from this bar every Friday and Saturday night. And the whole thing is just try to lure people in there to do all the stuff they didn't need to do, right? And so what I didn't know is I had a really nice guy. I really liked this guy, but what I didn't know is he was an alcoholic, and he was one of my announcers, and he was the DJ at the club gig every weekend. And some people that worked at the station, I was managing the station. I had people that were telling me that he was drinking while he was in the studio. Like, he's had a coffee thermos. I mean, he's drinking coffee. It's the middle of the morning. And they convinced me to go. They said, just go stand next to him in the studio. You'll figure out that's not coffee. And so I did. But one night, I'm at home, and I'm listening to the station, and he's on the air at the club, and he's really drunk. And there's some military guys in the club, and he's Mr. Powerful because he's got the microphone, and he's picking at these military guys. And I looked at my wife and I said, he's going to get killed, and we're going to lose the biggest client on all 4 of our radio stations. I'm going to have to do something. And so I pulled him in and took him off that remote because we couldn't keep doing that. And so I had hired another guy, and he came in, and again, party town, party station. He came in and he said, I want to work here. There's one rule that I have. I don't do bar remotes because I'm a Christian, and I've been there, done that. I'm not doing it anymore. So if you hire me, you have to understand that I don't do bar remotes. Okay, got it. I respect that.
Here's a Christian man at a pop station hiring a Christian man and saying, I'm not going to do
right. Yeah.
remotes at your biggest.
Right. But I was good with that until we had to take the other guy off that gig. And so I called the Christian guy, and I'm leaving names out of this because these guys are still all around. But he came in, and I said, hey, I know we had a deal, but I got this situation here. I really need you to do this remote. And he said, you'll just have to fire me. I can't. I can't do it. I told you that was, that was our agreement in the beginning. And I got to tell you, I respected that. I respected that guy because he stood up for what he believed in,
Yeah.
even willing to lose a job over it. I wound up hiring him a few years later at a Christian station specifically because of that, because I knew this is a guy that really is about what he says he's about. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So if you're the boss and there's nobody else to do a job, where does the buck stop? Right here. So I figured out, okay, there's nobody else to do this. I'm going to have to do it. And so I did this bar thing for a couple of weeks. And, when you go in there, there's all these people. It's like you're the big star up in the booth, up above everybody and all the lights, and it seems like it's cool. And that got old in about 10 minutes. And I think it was the second or third week. You would go up this staircase into the booth, and they would lock you in to keep all the crazy people from coming and trying to get into the radio booth. That's the kind of place it was. And I'm up there by myself doing this thing, and I felt the night. If you watched episode 1, the night that God reached me through that music that changed my life and changed the course of my life at that Christian radio station, the only other time that I ever felt God's presence in that dramatic of a way was that night in that club. It was as if he were standing next to me in that booth, and all I heard was, what do you think you're doing? Is this what I called you to do? And of course I knew the answer. No, of course not. What am I doing? And I knew that I had kind of forsaken my call. Yeah. And I left that radio station, and I decided I just wasn't going to do radio anymore. And a little time passed, and I figured out that's how I knew how to make a living, and I was going to have to go back and do that if I was going to pay the bills. And so I just started praying, God, if I'm going to have to do this, let me do it for you. If radio is it, then please show me where I can do this for you. And he opened a door at a Christian radio station, and I was back in Christian radio. It was wonderful. Now we go another step, and I'm at a station for 9 years. Christian station, managed the station for 9 years. On a Monday, the president of the ministry had me in his office, and with tears in his eyes, he said, Steve, I don't know what I would do without you. You keep this place going. I'm so thankful for you. That was on a Monday. On a Friday, it was kind of a weird week where people don't talk to you as much, and you sort of feel a little distance, like what's going on around here. On a Friday, boss comes in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, calls me in his office, and he says, I think it's time for you to get your stuff, and I need your keys, and you've outlived your usefulness.
I remember you telling this story.
From I don't know what I would do without you to you have outlived your usefulness was 4 days.
What is useful? How do you say that word?
Usefulness.
Okay, what is that?
That's whatever you're worth. You're not worth anything anymore. We don't need you anymore. You can't contribute anymore. That's what that means. And to say I was shocked is an understatement, but I remember that I actually had a company car, and I had to give them the car. So I didn't even have a way home. I don't have a job, I don't have a car. I had to call my wife to come and load my stuff into her car so I could go home. And if there was ever a time where I thought God had abandoned me, and I believed the lie that I had outlived my usefulness, that there was nothing left for me to do. I believed it. He said, I trusted this guy, and he said that, and I believed him. And I went through the worst depression. Uh, it wrecked my world. Um, and you know, God never let us go hungry. I had work. It was radio. It wasn't Christian radio, but I had work, and we slept indoors and ate on a regular basis. So God always takes care of you,
Yeah.
And He did. But my my spirit was just crushed, and uh, I was at a station in Texas. I call it the Radio World Tour. I actually lived in 7 states doing this crazy business. I moved all over the country. But I was in Texas, and the owner of the station I was working for stopped paying his bills. And we kind of lived with that until he stopped paying us. And that's when it really gets serious. And so here we are again. It's like another move, another change. Uh, and I started that prayer I'd prayed those years before. God, please let me do this for you again. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Can I just do this for you? And He opened the door at Way FM, and that's when I came here almost 7 years ago. And but here's what I figured out, and this is the lesson that I want to share with anybody that's paying any attention to this. I don't care if you're an accountant or you cook pizzas or I don't care what you do. If you get really caught up into how important your job is, and you lose your job and you think you've lost your identity and your value, or if you've been in a relationship where somebody's told you you're no good anymore, man, I wallowed in that for way too long because I believed a lie. And, it took a long time for me to realize, um, first of all, that's a lie. You're never, God will decide when He's done, not some guy.
Yeah.
I should have never let that impact me the way I did, but I know that we're human, and you might be watching this right now, and you may be sitting there going, I feel the same way. I've been told, maybe the husband or the wife or the parent or somebody said the same thing to you, and you're like, I must not have any value. And I believed it, and I suffered from it for a long time. And not long after I got here to this station, I started seeing God working in a whole lot of different ways. You've talked about some of it. The relationship with you and with Larry at Celebrate Recovery, and Shane at Exodus Ministries, and Daryl at the Prisoner's Hope, and I could go on, but some of these relationships and the things that I started seeing happening in this community that I was able to be a part of, and it finally clicked somewhere, well, God must not be done, and maybe you have not outlived your usefulness after all.
Yeah.
And I realized that when it finally clicked with me, I realized that I can't be the only person that's ever gone through this. I can't be the only person that's ever felt this way. And I have tried, every opportunity I've had, I've tried to share that with people that are going through a rough spot.
Well, it's like people, they read the verse, and there's a verse in the Bible, I think it's in John. I don't have my Bible in front of me, I can't go and tell you the address of the...
Right.
Okay. But the Bible tells us to take up our cross and follow Him. And if we follow him, I mean, he's got to be the lead.
Yeah.
But so many people have got Jesus dragging behind them because they know better than the Creator.
Yeah.
And then when it gets into a time of trouble, they're like, well, why weren't you there? And Jesus could say, because you wouldn't let me.
Right.
But, wow, I never knew the timelines.
Yeah. So, really it just comes down to this. God, I've seen people go through the worst, the most unimaginable things, falling into sin, losing their way, and I've seen God bring them back and use them in mightier ways the second time around than he did the first time. Yeah. God decides when you're done, and I think honestly that is the most important thing that I could say to anybody is if you feel like you're in that spot and you're ready to just kind of hang it up and you're like, what's the use? Don't let people put that stuff in your head. I don't know if it just, maybe somebody says that to you because it makes them feel better, makes them feel more important or something. I don't know why somebody would say something that hurtful to somebody else, but don't buy it. Just refuse it.
One thing I like about WFM, they listen to their listeners. For the most part, they listen to the listeners. And if you're going through one of them problems that Steve just talked about, this is family, man. This is family.
Yeah.
Not just him, but anybody in the way of them. It's family. And if you text the word prayer to 91979, they'll send you a link where you can connect with family. And or reach out to our page, or reach out. Don't fight. Don't think you have to be alone, because you don't and you're not. Right. Somebody made a comment to me the other day. I ran so far from God. Well, guess what? He's right behind you. Yes. It's not the same distance going back, because he's been chasing after you. And if you're going through a hard time, maybe you feel like you outlived your, what's that word? Usefulness. Yeah. Turn around. Turn around.
I think the devil, if you're really on the right track, I think the devil will use people to try to derail you.
Oh yeah.
And I think that, whether this person that said this to me knew the impact of it or not, I don't know. That's, he and God got to figure all that out. But I think that was a roadblock that was put in front of me to try to stop me from what I was doing. And it worked for a little while. And that's why, it sort of makes me angry at myself when I look back and go, how long did I live with that when I should have known that it was a lie, and it's not what God promises. And I should not have bought into that, but I did. And that's why if you're there, just stop it. Just stop. Don't believe the lie. God can always use you. I'll say it again. I've seen just look at the Bible. David and Paul and how many more that were the worst of the worst, and God still found a way to use them.
Yeah.
People that completely he went to Moses, and Moses couldn't even speak clearly, And he gave him this whole thing. He gave him a whole job, and he's like, "Why me? I'm not qualified."
The thing I love, the whole story about Moses, there's every story has something that really grabs your attention.
Mm-hmm.
When Moses went to the burning bush, and he was talking to God, and God said, "I need you to get my people."
Mm-hmm.
What did Moses say? After he said, I can't talk.
Right.
I'll give you Aaron. He was making every excuse he
Mm-hmm.
possibly could
Pick somebody else.
not to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gave God an ultimatum. I'll go get your people, but you're going with me.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, I didn't think you'd ever invite me.
Right. That's
You
that's the point all
know?
along.
So you'll hear me say, and you'll hear people say, I don't go to Walmart unless Jesus goes with me.
Mm.
Because if I have to go to the rat race, I'm taking him with me.
Yeah.
Off subject, in the last few minutes of this, who's your favorite Bible character?
Oh wow. Probably, the name is escaping me, but the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Um, that's my favorite story because the fact that God loves you so much that when you finally turn around and come back, that he's just that image of he's running, as you run toward him, he's running toward you. Because that's what he wanted all along. He just wanted you to come back. And that's so powerful. And I've been that guy. And to just, the picture, there's a picture of that. It's in my office. It's been in every office I've had for 40 years. Literally every office I've had that picture in there. It's the picture of the prodigal son coming back and his father's hugging him. That's how much God loves you. And man, nobody, we don't deserve any of that, but yet he gives it so freely. And so that's my favorite character and my favorite story, because it just is just such the perfect picture of God's love. So how about you?
Daniel. Daniel. I believe, I think it's in the Bible. Again, I don't have my Bible in front of me, so I can't give you the address. You have to Google it if you want to double check me on this.
That's right.
I believe we can recognize faces when we get to heaven. I also believe you can recognize faces in hell. And so if you're in heaven, you'll know who's in hell. Vice versa. That's a David freebie right there. But when we see somebody in heaven, we're going to know who they are and their story. And I want to sit down with Daniel. And I've got a couple questions for him. I get scared when my bills come due. Or I get scared when my gas tank's on E.
Right.
How much faith did he have? Was he scared? When he told the people, I am not going to bow down to anybody but my God.
Yeah.
And they decided to throw him in the lion's den. Was he scared walking to it? Prodigal son is your story. But as a Christian, I wonder how many people will say, I'm going to be like Daniel. I'm going to stand on the faith of Daniel. And then when things get rough, I don't know.
Yeah. Way less than lions.
But I want to know what it felt like to know, without a doubt,
That God was going to take care of him one way or the other. Yeah.
So,
Good question.
guys, we're going to wrap up episode 3. Steve, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
It's been thanks for the libations over here. If you have anything to reach out, anything bothering you, please know this. We may not know you, but we sure do love you.
Yeah. That prayer wall, for real, if you text prayer to 91979, I'll tell you this real quick as we close. A very good friend of mine was having very serious cancer surgery about a year ago, and he told me that he was in the room waiting to go back to the operating room. His wife was with him, and his phone was just ding, 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 and she's like, what is wrong with your phone? And he said, people are praying for me because I posted my prayer on the prayer wall on WayFM. And she thought it was just some weird, annoyance, and realized that it was all these people that didn't know him were praying for him before he went into surgery. And man, he told me just the impact that had on him. And so it's there, and it's there for you. And
I gotta do something real fast. Keep talking. I gotta run out of here. I want to grab something.
Okay.
And come right back.
But that prayer wall is there. It's there for you. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt anything. And I have seen people be touched in so many ways through prayer. There's so much power in it. And to know that hundreds or maybe even thousands of people are praying for you at the same time, it's pretty amazing.
And the neat thing about the prayer wall, while you're there, typing in your prayer request, so you get those hundreds and thousands of people to blow your phone up. Blow someone else's phone up. You know, I look at it every once in a while. I kind of mirrored the Pray for America's prayer wall against the, and I've never said that to anybody, but
Right. Makes
but
sense.
the key word is pray. And I want to grab this Bible right here. WayFM tells you if you text the word Bible to 91979 that they'll send you a Bible. I'm holding a Bible that WayFM will send you. And it's a New Living Translation, and it's a complete Bible with a study guide. So
we get so many amazing stories back from people that have gotten those Bibles, and it's one of the greatest pleasures of working here is when we do a Bible mailing, and you're just stuffing them in envelopes and putting the labels on them, but looking at all the labels, of course we pray over them before we send them out, but looking at the labels at the people all over the country and places where we don't even have radio stations, but they found us on the internet or through an app, and just to see the
Shelley Green.
Well, that would be my wife. Just to
got to call her.
yeah, I probably have to call her back. But to see how far God's word can reach is pretty cool. So yeah.
Let me ask you a question real fast. If somebody's watching one of these things internationally, does WayFM still send it? Can they do? Y'all have the
all you got to do is text the word Bible 91979. We'll get you a Bible one way or the other.
There you go, guys. Man, Steve, you call your wife back, tell her Amy loves her.
Probably in trouble, so.
Y'all say a prayer for Steve. Mama Shelley's called. He's late. God, we love you. We appreciate you. We really do. And as always, we thank God for his scars. Because what? He gives ours a meaning.
That's right. Love you.